Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima. If it starts raining any heavier than it currently is, I'm going to have to apologize for that because I'm probably not going to get a better time to record this. This is Pumped BMX. Might want to turn that up a little so you can hear the music. And this is another game from Curve Studios. Yes, another one. They keep pushing these out like nobody's business. So if we go take a look at the options for a minute, you've got music and sound effects. Personally, if it were me, I would turn the music right down because I honestly don't think it fits with the theme of the game at all. It's this electronic style music that just doesn't fit with the sort of wildlife and desert sort of theme that are going on in the background here. Like, you can see it in the background now. And you've also got these advanced modes that you can turn on because, you know, fun. And you can also come to choose your style, which is basically just changing what your guy looks like. You've got all of these unlocked at the beginning, so there's really no need to wait for anything in particular. You're more than welcome to just go select whatever you want. Game's got cross-save, and it's also got 5 tutorials. There is one that is very importantly missing, but I'll get onto that. So we're just going to go straight to play, and we've got different levels here in different difficulty settings, and I'm going to go to local because I want to show at least partially the game at its somewhat potential before I start screwing it up. Every level has an online leaderboard, by the way, so you can come back and score attack any level you damn well please, and I quite like that about these sorts of games. So anyway, here we are in Pumped BMX. I'm just going to play the level normally for the time being. I'm not going to do any tricks or anything. So it's a sort of combination between Trials and Tony Hawk. And the idea is that I'll just hit restart a few times because I'm going to have to anyway. The idea is that you have a balance between left and right, and you can also do tricks. And tricks are done with the right analog stick. And if you land the tricks, you'll get points. If you don't land the tricks, well, you fail the level. And if you fail to keep your speed up, you will also fail the level. God, he looks like he's very badly hurt. But anyway, so the idea is that you want to be keeping your speed up, and speed is done using the X button. Not only does holding X down speed you up throughout the game, it will also, if you let go of it at the end of a jump, give you a bigger boost, and if you hold X in the air, it will actually make you plummet to the ground faster, so you can get on a smoother curve. And there is a whole system based around the idea of keeping your speed up and making sure that you have enough speed to get through the level. There are also spins you can do using the shoulder buttons. God damn it, I just ran out of speed. Unfortunately, it's very hard to pick up speed once you've lost it. So when you start getting onto the levels that absolutely require you to keep your speed up, one tiny little mistake sometimes will just lead to you being just completely unable to do it. But anyway, so the idea is that you want to be keeping your speed up and you want to be doing tricks and spins in the air. And if you land on your front or your back wheel, you can also do... I didn't mean to do that. That's a problem with the game's menus. They come up after you crash, so you can accidentally nudge over and find your way back to the main menu. But you get the idea. So I'm going to go to a flow level at this point. And you have 4 goals on every level. I guess we'll do the wedge, because why not? And when you finish those 4 goals on the specific level, you will move on to another set of 4 goals. And there are 3 sets of 4 goals for every stage of the game. So as you can see here, there's a manual, and unfortunately I could not keep my speed up, so I have to do that level again. Thankfully there is a quick restart button bound to the select button. Get some speed up, get over to that, get some more speed up. Unfortunately I didn't come down at the right angle, so I have to start again. And this is honestly my main problem with the game. Now, some of you may not find this to be a problem at all, and that I can understand, but this overall insistence on precision, in my personal opinion at the very least, kind of takes away from the entire point of trick systems like this, which is the freedom to do what you want, because a lot of these tricks that you can do will actually slow you down while you're in the air. And as you can see, a lot of these games courses, after you get past the first set, require you to be so basically perfect that if you screw up even once, you will probably just get absolutely destroyed. Thankfully, most of these goals are doable manually. So what that means is that you not manually, you can do them just like solo and do them independently of other goals. So if you need to, you know, get some practice in, and if you need to, you know, if you're so crap at the game that you can only do one goal at a time, which I certainly am, you are more than capable of doing this. So it's just an idea of combining tricks that don't slow you down enough alongside just getting enough practice in, and you'll eventually get it. I keep doing the wrong thing, so I'm going to try and demonstrate how it moves on to the manual set of goals. I mean, the normal set of goals, I should say. I'm just going to make my way to the end. I'm not going to bother doing any fancy tricks. There is another system in the game that's designed to help you out with this. God damn it. There is another system in the game that's designed to help you out with this, but bloody planes. But I have a problem with this system because the game doesn't tell you that this system exists until you get a specific amount of challenges done, and then it only does it. It only tells you about the system in one dialogue prompt that I accidentally skipped because I wasn't expecting it to be there. Imagine that, huh? That's the most annoying thing, because it literally just tells you about the system in one pop-up box when the game recommends that you go through all 5 of the game's tutorials. Having the game only give you one dialogue box, well, not so much one dialogue box as... And see, here's a new set of goals that show up. There were a lot of freaking planes going over. I'm so sorry about that. There are a lot of things that you need to learn about the game. Like, we'll go to a different level now because I've spent long enough on this level. There are also other things you need to learn. I'm going to go to an amateur level just because, you know, screw me and everything I stand for. We'll go... I think a one-hand table is a... Yes, it is. So we'll go to the new school level. There is a second set of tricks you can do. You do your normal tricks by pressing any direction on the right analog stick. But if you're holding your finger down on the rear touchpad while you're doing a trick, you'll do a completely different set of tricks. So, yeah, I just did a couple of bike flips, which you have to do by holding in on the rear pad. But anyway, that system I told you about earlier, the racer and boost. Now, as I said, I skipped it, so I had to spend a lot of time figuring out just what the bloody hell they meant by racer and boost. Now, when you're holding the X button and coming off a jump, if you tap to the right on the left analog stick, yeah, get that one through your head, tap to the right on the left analog stick, you'll go into a racer mode, which will give you extra speed. If you do it to the left, on the left analog stick, you'll go into boost mode, which will give you extra height. The problem is, I've never seen a use for the boost mode, which is kind of infuriating, because I have not seen a use for it yet, because every time I failed on this, like 95% of the times I've failed on Pumped BMX, it's because I did not have the speed I needed to get to the next part of the stage. And the other times I'd failed is because I tried to do a trick when I couldn't and I ended up crashing. So it's kind of annoying having a thing that I can accidentally pull more height out of, despite the fact that I really probably don't need more height at the time. There is also the idea that you don't actually get the racer and the boost modes when they start actually being useful. I just completely screwed that up there. Because you can unlock the flow and the amateur levels well into when you'll start needing the boost mode and the racer mode. So you just end up flopping around on these levels for a bit thinking, where is the extra speed that I need to get through the amateur levels? And, well, there's a grind for you, by the way. Where's the extra speed I need to get through the levels? Well, it's there, it's just you don't unlock it until a fair bit after you get the levels you need to actually... that you actually need to do the levels on. It's kind of infuriating, but anyway, I need to remember what button it was to do a bloody one-hand table. It was like, nope. Let's go to the tricks. One-hand table is up on the analog stick, right? So the game ends up being surprisingly frustrating for a little bit because you're trying to figure out just why the hell is the game not giving you the speed you need to get the tricks done and, you know, move on to the next part of the level. And then it introduces this system out of nowhere, which doesn't work until the dialogue prompt comes up. And I don't even know how I even got it to work. So, I don't even remember, like, what stage I was on at the time. So, yeah. So, most of the time, I just end up going through stages, and I end up just trying to do them perfectly. And then, at the end, I do the trick, and then I focus on trying to actually get tricks done at particular points during the... run. Because that's really all I can do. Because, again, mess up once or use too many tricks that slow you down without you realizing it, and you'll end up crashing and you'll have to do the whole stage again. And this infuriates me more than you might think. That was my fault. I fully admit that. And I do admit I suck at these sorts of games, and the precision was never my thing. I mean, I think Skate did it really well if we're thinking in just broad terms of precision over player... What's the word I'm looking for? Player expression, I guess is the word I'm looking for here. And I think this game bends a little bit too much towards the requires precision mark of the spectrum. Considering that it takes a real lot of effort not to screw up. I mean, just a little bit of extra speed, like every time I landed a trick or something, a la Tony Hawk, might have done the game a whole lot of favors, because it would have allowed a lot more room for creative expression. It would have made the difficulty curve a lot less harsh, and it would have, you know, made the game a whole lot more entertaining. And then with the end levels, you can definitely focus on requiring absolute precision with your tricks. I'll go on to the next level just so I don't spend too much longer here. And admittedly, the game doesn't feel... I hate using the word feel because it's such an inconsistent word, and you're never particularly sure, like... You're never particularly sure... What's the word I'm looking for? How... what's a tail whip? Right on the analog stick, right? So you're never particularly sure what someone means when they say feel. But the mechanics and the systems in this game are a hell of a lot more floaty than your typical Tony Hawk, or maybe even a game like Ollie Ollie. Like, that's comparable, considering that that game has a lot more to do with, like, landing precisely, but at the same time, they are comparable in a sense. So yeah, as you can see, just getting your speed up in this game is very important. I wonder if a boost would actually work better there than a racer. Not really. Yeah, it's just, the boost just doesn't give you as much height as a racer gives you as much speed, so it's like, what's the point? So there we go. Do a manual. Get down there and get the racer boost, and I can't see where I'm going, and of course that was a finish. Unfortunate, but you know, I finished the level, so at least I get the challenge. And that whole racer and boost mechanic, just, you know, you get one tutorial prompt to explain it when you've had a full tutorial level to explain everything else in the game. So if they added a tutorial level for that, and just eased up on the difficulty curve by allowing a bit extra speed every time you land a successful trick, for allowing higher scores and all that, I'd like the game a hell of a lot more than I currently do. At the same time though, with the game's mechanics being relatively floaty, And it doesn't feel as solid as a game like, say, Trials Fusion. The game definitely feels a fair bit more floaty. I'm not saying it's imprecise, but at the same time, it feels a little bit more random than your typical Trials game would. This is coming from a guy who managed to finish Trials Fusion's main campaign through remote play, so you know me, I know what I'm talking about. And I did it at 30 FPS too. No 60 FPS pad for me. Boost might have actually done me a favor there, but anyway. The game definitely isn't bad, and if you're looking for a game that's more precision-oriented than your typical games like Trials Fusion, well, Trials is oriented. I'm talking more about the FMX mode, like, that's basically what this is. An expansion on the FMX mode of Trials Fusion with a little bit of ollie level precision stuck in there, but if this is the sort of game you're looking for, it definitely isn't a bad choice. It just might be a little bit of a turn-off to people who have problems with holding the precision required in a game that might be like this. I'll do one more level and then I'll call this video off. It's definitely not a bad game. It's a bit floaty and could do with a bit of tweaking, but... Oh, well, would you look at that? So, I only have to score 35,000 points on this level, so we can do that. We can do this. We got this. It's definitely not a bad game, and considering that every level has a leaderboard to work with, you're more than welcome to, you know, have a bit of fun and try and figure out just what the highest score you can get on a level like this is. I definitely didn't make that, so let's give that another shot. And a little bit of tweaking would make this game really, really good. Like, amazingly good. Just a little bit of extra speed here and there. Maybe make it so that some of the tricks don't slow you down. And that you can just get extra speed by doing tricks like Tony Hawk did. If you did it like that, then the game would be bloody amazing for both expression and precision via high scoring. Right now, the game is merely an enjoyable romp, but at the same time, the game's under 10 bucks, and you'll get a fair amount of time out of it. So it's definitely not as bad as it can be, and to say that I'm not enjoying it would be a lie, because it is honestly a lot of fun. The precision personally makes it so that I won't come back to it as much as a game like, say, the original Tony Hawk games. But there is a lot to do to keep you distracted, and you don't have to 100% focus on the precision, but sometimes you do. It's not bad, just be prepared to be precise if you want to come in and check this out. Like, let's go and have a look at the leaderboard, because why not? If there's even anyone on this leaderboard yet. Oh, there is. Alright, fair enough. But yeah. Totally fine game. Needs a bit of could use a bit of polishing. It works fine the way it is right now, but it could use a bit of polishing. And yeah. It's probably worth the under $10 it's going for right now. It's about $10 on the store, but if you're on PlayStation Plus, it's a 20% launch discount, so like $8 or your regional equivalent. So yeah, this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.